60 Stunning Photos from History. Part 17. Calvin Klein with his daughter after her release from kidnappers, New York, 1978. A former prisoner of the Auschwitz concentration camp selects his glasses, 1945. A lineup of men dressed as ladies in Brazil, 1913. Door to a congressional bunker in case of nuclear war, USA, 1960s. Pre-war U.S. Troop Support Group, Hawaii, 1936. A cook preparing a penguin for lunch during an Antarctic expedition, 1915. Owen John Baggett, American World War II pilot, known as the only person in the world to shoot down an airplane with a pistol shot, 1941. Vicki Dugan, the provocative model who was once known as the Back of Hollywood, 1950s. A squad of professional rat catchers at work during the bubonic plague epidemic, Sydney, 1900. Having a little fun on the beach in 1940. In the 1940s, men dressed in shorts and cowboy boots served up to women at a drive-thru in Texas. People show off the tattoos given to them during an amateur tattoo artist contest in France in 1950. Sharon Tate showing off the baby clothing she had bought in London, UK in 1969. A man begging for his wife's forgiveness inside divorce court, Chicago, 1946. The evolution of the female bathing suit from 1875 to 1927. One of the worst mining accidents in history, the Fratterville mine disaster in Tennessee, killed over 200 miners in 1902. Parisians navigate floodwaters by walking across rows of chairs, 1924. Here's a camouflaged road in Finland during WW2. The trees were hung up with rope so the Russians couldn't see the road, 1941. Freddie Mercury said to Mary Austin in his will, "If things had been different you would have been my wife, and this would have been yours anyway," 1984. Two members of the Bertram Mills Circus walk head-to-head at Hammersmith Broadway in London, 1953. Martha Herbert, 12, was sentenced to 142 days of hard labor at Oxford Castle Prison for stealing half a shilling and sixpence, 1871. Brazilian girl refusing to shake hands with military dictator João Figueiredo, 1979. Photo of the toes and torch of the Statue of Liberty sitting on Bedloes Island before they were hoisted on the pedestal, 1885. Mr. Rogers invites a black officer to his show and asked if he wanted to cool his feet off in his mini pool. In the winter of 1936, a clothier in Denmark came up with an odd but effective sales scheme. He hung more than 1,000 overcoats from a scaffold around his shop. In 1917, 16-year-old Elsie Wright and her 9-year-old cousin Frances Griffiths took photos with the Cottingley fairies. They only admitted the photos were faked in 1983. Ruby Fox worked with Myrtle Hetrick to escape from Nebraska's state reformatory for women. John Travolta and Marilu Henner at Studio 54, 1965. An unidentified boy arrested for stealing a car, despite being just 11 years old. The Azorian hood, known in Portuguese as capote e capello, is a traditional garment from the Azores, worn until the 1930s. Arnold Schwarzenegger with girls, 1976. Juanita McCamey, 20, was arrested in San Diego and charged with criminal conspiracy after participating in a public labor protest in 1912. The Beatles having fun in the pool, 1964. The famous two-headed dog from the project of scientists Pavlov and Demikhov, 1954. Jane Mansfield posing in a bikini at the edge of a swimming pool filled with bottles shaped like bikini-clad versions of herself in Los Angeles, California, 1957. Before meeting her future husband, Jackie Kennedy had been working as a photojournalist for the Washington Times-Herald. Ballet dancer Rudolf Nureyev's feet, photographed in 1961 by Richard Avedon. Elvis driving bumper cars, 1960. Inside California Alligator Farm amusement park where kids could ride and play with alligators, 1920s. Josie, 6 years old, Bertha, 6 years old, and Sophie, 10 years old, worked regularly at the Maggioni Canning Company, 1903. A Zulu tribesman pulls a tourist in a pedicab in Durban, Union of South Africa, 1930s. Two Boys in London, 1902. Shells from an Allied bombardment all fired in a single day on German lines in 1916. Arnold Schwarzenegger posing with a girl on the beach, 1978. Che Guevara's last moments, Bolivia, October 1967. Abraham Lincoln and George McClellan, 1862. Six-year-old Jewel Walker picks 20 to 25 pounds of cotton a day, 1916. JFK being served fettuccine Alfredo by its inventor, Alfredo di Lelio at the restaurant Alfredo in Rome, Italy, 1963. The danger is routine for the steelworkers building the frame of the Empire State Building, 1930. Fair fun 1930s. Two young women enjoying themselves on the Caterpillar ride at Southend Fair, Essex, 1938. Amateur Victorian dramatics, source and theatre unknown, 1890. The Art of Domestic Dentistry, 1897. Group photograph of members of the Brighton Swimming Club, England, 1863. Late Victorian Family Frolics, 1880. Female firefighters in action in London circa 1916. Three women in Marshall, Texas, 1899. A Japanese postcard of a Bijin, beautiful person, with her kitten, circa 1907. Ava Gardner, age 19, 1942. This shot shows more than 7,000 bags of gold and silver that had been looted by the Germans during the war, 1945. Audi workers demonstrating the body strength of the Audi 920, 1938. Soldiers wearing gas masks while peeling onions at Tobruk, October 15, 1941. U.S. Marine provides water to a stray kitten found hiding under a knocked-out Japanese Type 95 Hago light tank, 1943.